And preparing, still preparing, setting up, done, live.
So for those who are joining us on YouTube, this is our PEA Victory Pack. It is a pack made up of PEA and PEA retired members. And we are doing District 3 school board candidate interviews tonight. And the next one we have is Miss Sarah Corona. And so we will get started. We have a list of 9 questions that we're asking everybody. And so you do have a 30-minute time window. So just be aware of that. If we have time left over, then we'll do follow-up based on answers. So I will kick us off. Is there a particular issue that motivates you to serve on the Fulton County Public School Board?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. My name is Sarah Corona, and I'm running for Fulton County District 3. Well, I think we need to bring a different perspective. And we need a little bit more different, not the same. There's a lot of things going on with the teachers, like lack of motivation. Parents they feel they're not being heard. Teachers doesn't feel supported. And it's alarming what's going on. So I want to bring that different perspective. Also like the business side, because I'm a CEO for several mental health clinics. So I'm an expert when it comes to budgeting, and I know that's like a huge problem. We have $2.26 billion budget and it's still coming short. We need to take care of our teachers. We need to take care of our students. We need to take care of our community. Because that's what we're here for.
What do you see are the major issues facing the school district and public education?
From the parent perspective, I think it's the lack of knowledge. A lot of parents, and the way I'm referring to this is because I'm very involved with the community. And I've been like visiting like different schools and my church, I'm Catholic and I visit like different churches. And the lack of not only knowledge, but motivation, they're losing the faith in the school system. That's why many parents are doing homeschooling, or they're taking their kids to magnet school or charter school. And that's alarming. And not only that, the morale on the educators, on the teachers. I went to Moon Park like 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was passing out flyers and I had the opportunity to talk to some of the teachers. Oh my gosh, I feel for them, okay, because they're not motivated. And as a businesswoman, your staff can make you or break you. So we need to make sure we support our teachers, because if they don't feel supported, how are we going to provide high quality of education? That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was just finishing that. Sorry. Have you spent any time inside our Polk County Public School classrooms, other than as a teacher, or like as a teacher, or observing, substituting?
Well, as a para educator, I did it a long time ago. Sleepy Hill Middle School.
About how long ago?
Oh my God, 2007 maybe. And then also I was invited to Mulberry High School. And I was able to speak like in 2 different classes. And I was able to talk to some of the teachers. And also I've been visiting different schools and I've been talking to some of them. And it's not only affecting the teachers, also I'm in mental health. So it's also affecting counselors. We have like 5 counselors. They already are part of our team. They came from the school system. Not in this area. I have 3 clinics, Largo, San P, and in Tampa, in Largo, because they don't feel supported. So this is I believe it's a global crisis, and things are not getting better. Things are getting worse, and it's time for us to take action and make a difference, bring a different perspective.
How can you utilize your position as a board member to address the issues our staff are facing?
With my leadership skills and my experience, I know how to motivate my team. I focus on the solutions, not a problem. And I can bring not only that perspective, but that knowledge. We need to identify, we all know what's the problem with the school, in the school system. I know from the teacher's perspective, the salaries, they don't feel supportive, the lack of motivation. So we need to analyze where is our money going? And then we need to prioritize the teachers. And then from there, everything starts. Because if the teachers feel supported, they feel motivated, of course, they're going to pass that information in the way they feel to our students. It's the same way in the business industry. If your staff is not motivated, how are they going to provide quality service to the patients? It's the same thing in the school system. It's a business, and we need to treat that as a business. We need to take care of our teachers. We need to take care of our staff. That way, they will take care of our students, and their parents will believe in the system again, because they're losing faith. And I'm not talking in general, but they're losing faith because things are not getting better. Things are getting worse. And my kids went through private school, public school, magnet school, and charter school. And I remember back then things were a little bit different. And the only reason my kids started in private schools because they're like super smart genius, and they started school like at the age of 4, and public school would not take them, and not every single only one private school will accept them. And things were like totally different back then than what it is now. And every time I talk to a parent, they're like, oh no, I'm pulling my kids from public school. Where are you going? I'm doing homeschooling. Why? Because they're losing faith. I mean, it's that we need to change that now. What are we waiting? 5 years from now, 10 years from now? We need to take action right now. And we need to stop like the talking. We need to like bring solutions to the problem. We need to analyze the big picture and try to help the situation, because my opinion, we're not getting any better. And the numbers are showing, the shortage on educators is showing. So it's time to act right now.
So what specific changes should be made at the state and local level regarding public education, and how do you both personally and as a member of the board intend to help bring about that change?
First of all, we need to listen what is the real problems going on out there. Okay, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the curriculum. Okay, I think the curriculum is very like comparing with other schools, other like privates, I think is like pretty strong. But the problem is we need to listen to the concerns the teachers are having. I've been observing like different schools and talking to the teachers. They have a lot of pressure. They have classrooms with like 25, 30 students, different, there's kids they're acting up, behavior issues, and coming from mental health. We're not going to label students. I will never do that. But we need to identify the students that are having problems. That way, the teachers can provide better quality of service to these students. So I will analyze everything as a big whole, because again, not every student is suitable to go to college. Not every student is suitable to go to trade school. And so we need to identify individual issues, not like as a whole, because we're like targeting everything at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Instead of like breaking down different issues, what is really going on? And I decided to run because we need leadership that deliver results. We just don't need leaderships that are going to just like, when you campaign, you promise the world and nothing happens. And my kids are already adults, but I'm going to have grandchildren in the future. And I'm a little afraid of what's going on right now. Thing is, when you lose credibility, you're done. And I think that's what's happening. We need to bring like the faith, the understanding, the trust in the school system, not only for the parents, but for the students, for the teachers too. And the students need to feel safe. Right now, a lot of teachers feel like the schools are kind of like a daycare center. Why? They're like, all they're doing is like taking care of the kids, because you hear a lot of parents saying, oh my gosh, no school, what am I going to do with the kids? And teachers, like from my personal experience talking to all these teachers, they don't feel supported. And, I'm not gonna mention which school, but I visited, two schools, and two of the teachers that I was in their classroom, like talking to the students, it was, I think it was like a, Korea Day, something like that. They were asking me questions about mental health, and I thought they were like getting interested, and they were like, no, I'm going to get my license as a mental health therapy, after I graduated, I'm planning on leaving. So it's alarming. It's alarming because, as a member of the community, what's gonna happen? I mean, we need to act right now. Stop the bureaucracy.
How does a school board balance the need to provide a quality education for all students with the need to be responsive to the local taxpayers?
Okay. That's a very tricky question, okay? I'm a taxpayer, you are a taxpayer, okay? And I know 45% comes from property taxes. We need to do something because I don't agree. I'm gonna be honest with you. We have a lot of elderly that they are struggling, making making needs. I mean, and now the taxes are like increasing because of the 45% comes from property taxes. So we need to find different revenue where we can get that money, because I don't agree with the tax, with like the 45% being funded by property taxes.
Well, on that note, so salaries were the number one frustration
Yes.
that our educators cited on our most recent bargaining survey. Osceola, Orange, and Hillsborough already have a millage referendum within place, and then we will have a millage referendum on the ballot in November. How will you personally help advocate for this much needed measure as we are hemorrhaging teachers and support staff to surrounding counties who pay better?
I'm 100% in favor to have the teachers make more money. Okay, so we should analyze what module they're using, and we should implement that in Polk County as well.
This is specifically about the millage, like the millage referendum, which would increase property taxes
They're going to increase property taxes, okay.
if it's voted up. Yeah.
I'm not against. Okay, let me put in perspective. I want the teachers to make more money, okay? I want the teachers to be like, because my youngest one always wanted to be a teacher. And now he's like, Mom, no, there's no way I can survive. So he was making more money working at one of my clinics that if he would, and with the college degree, if he would have become a teacher. That's number one priority, okay? I'm for that. The teachers has to make way more money than what they're making right now. We need to be competitive. At the same time, we need to find other revenues. That way we don't keep increasing property taxes, because when is going to be enough? It's going to get to the point that, I mean, how much we're going to be to increase it? But no, the teachers need to be compensated. Even if the increase that they're going to receive right now, I don't think that's going to be enough. So, but we need to find a solution. The solution is not increasing the property taxes, because yeah, it's a temporary solution, but when it's going to be enough? I mean, it's going to get to the point that we are taxpayers. But I'm not against that, because they need to be compensated. Because what's going to happen? I mean, I know there's a shortage right now. So what's going to happen? Where the education is going to go?
Have you received any donations or endorsements from any other groups or PACs? And if so, which one?
I have some other meetings coming up, and I received 2 emails last week. One is from the LGBT, and oh my gosh, the other one I forgot. Oh, the Hispanic Association, because as you can hear my voice, I'm Hispanic.
And have either of them endorsed you yet?
Well,
You're in the process of meeting with them?
Yes. But I have support from the community.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the teachers, paras, and ESPs of Polk County in this committee?
Well, if I get elected, I promise to work hard. I promise to deliver results. This is not about talking. This is about delivering results because I believe that we can do a lot better. I believe every student, no matter of their zip code and background, they deserve high quality of education. The teachers deserve to have the support they need, and the parents, they deserve to be heard. And I'm not here only to represent the Hispanic community, which is like, there's 43% of the students in Polk County are Hispanic. I'm here to represent everybody. I'm a political refugee. I'm from Cuba, and I earned 2 master's degree, and I'm working on my doctor's degree. So I work hard for everything I have. Nothing was given to me. And I think I think the kids will really like understand and get motivated by that.
Yeah.
So, again, I know I can work, I work very well with everybody. And I know with my knowledge and with my background, I know we can do great things for our community. And that's what I'm planning of doing if I get elected.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of extra time, so if anybody has any other questions for Ms. Corona.
One of the things you kept saying was that we've lost credibility. What would you do to help get that back?
Okay, first of all, you have to listen. You need to find out what's the problem. And don't make promises that you're not gonna follow through. So you gotta see this as a business, because the school is a business. Okay, why? Because we're dealing with money, we're dealing with employees, we're dealing with every single aspect of the business. You need to listen of every single teacher or every single staff member to find out what's going on. They need to feel supported. This is the same thing in my clinics. If you don't show respect, if you don't show that you're there for them, if you don't show that you're listening, the morale is gonna go down because you're gonna, you keep saying, yeah, it's gonna work, it's gonna happen, and nothing happens. So in my clinics, I have 1% turnover, meaning a lot of the staff that I've given them the opportunity, I pushed them to go back to school, and they went back to school. So they have, of course, leave the company because they cannot keep up. So the morale in my clinics are very high. We have zero drama, zero gossiping, but they know that I'm a woman of my word. I'm Catholic, so my faith is, so when I tell you something, that happens. So I do their one-on-one, I listen to them, and then we're trying to find solutions. We focus on the solutions, not the problem. So they know that when I have my meetings and when I promise something, I always follow through. And I always follow through. So, and that's what we need to do, because the schools is not any different.
Sarah, do you feel like the school board budget at the top is too top heavy with high salaries and a lot of unnecessary personnel? Have you studied the infrastructure and the organizational chart?
Definitely. There's a lot of, and I don't want people to think, oh my gosh, here she comes and she's gonna cut heads. No, but there's a lot of serious spending. Very high salaries, a lot of administrative positions that yeah, I mean, probably is needed, but we can do a lot better. So first of all, you have to structure the whole thing. You need to analyze the entire picture. Because $2.26 billion, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and then we're not taking care of the teachers. Yeah, now they're gonna get an increase, but how long you guys been fighting for this? So yeah, there's a lot that we we need to analyze and see what we can do about that. Not keep hiring new staff. We need to delegate, we need to restructure everything.
Mhm.
From the bottom up, we need to build that foundation, and we need to build from the bottom up.
Okay, you've mentioned several times that something about teacher motivation. I'm not sure exactly what are they not motivated? What do you mean by that?
Okay, when you don't feel heard or supported, you will have lack of motivation. That's what I meant about that. And I'm going based on my visiting different schools. having the teachers talk to me, like meeting them on the street, like Moon Park or any activity, you know, when I pass out flyers, they'll be like, oh, you're running for school board? Okay, you know, I'm a teacher. But they're like, I don't want to get in trouble. Don't say anything, because if I go to my administrator, I get in trouble. And I hear a lot of that. So that means they don't feel heard. They don't have the person that they can go to. If anybody of my staff members have a problem, I have an open policy that they can come to me and we discuss what's going on. We may not always agree, but we'll find a solution. And I will say 90% of the people that I have talked to, the teachers, they're like, no, I cannot go to my administrator. If I do that, I'll get in trouble. So do you think they're gonna be motivated? They're not. They're gonna find a way out, an exit. And I'm not saying the passion is not there. Of course the passion is there. But they're struggling.
How do you feel about standardized testing? There's a lot of veteran teachers that I've run into that say that the slogan of the school board should not be students first, but test score first. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that. A student should be first. And being in mental health, when FCAT gets closer, you should see how many students, how many child and adolescent are in our clinic, because they're stressed out, because if they don't pass, they're gonna get in trouble. Let me tell you something. When I came from Cuba, I didn't speak English. I was a straight student. I graduated high school when I was 16 because I was a little smart. Everything was about FCAT. I didn't pass FCAT. And I was so stressed out because I was afraid I was not going to be able to graduate. So I didn't pass FCAT, but I went to Polk State College and I took pre-writing and I took pre-reading. My math was good because I was very good at math, and plus, you know, I didn't need like 100% of the language, okay? So a lot of these students, it's not because they're not smart, it's just because they're so much stressed out, because if they don't pass, it's all about numbers. No, it's not about numbers. It's about quality, not quantity. We cannot measure, you know, the success of the school based on the test score, because a student doesn't do good in a, you know, in the test. That doesn't mean the student is not knowledgeable. A lot of students get nervous when they take the test. So that's my, you know, my opinion. Go ahead.
Sorry if I may change questions. So you discussed that you're against raising local taxes. One of the current issues in the state is that Tallahassee views Polk County as still a rural county, despite us being number 7 in population in the state, despite all of the articles coming out on how fast growing Haines City in the east side is, and how we're still number 1. A few years ago, Haines City was number 1 in the entire country. At this point, Polk County is still one of the fastest growing in the state. Are you willing to walk up to Tallahassee, to walk up to our representatives and look them dead in the face and go, why do you think that we are only people with farmers and orchards when we have the number 7 population density and you are not funding us accordingly?
I'm not afraid to speak up. Not only Tallahassee, but I have to go all the way to Washington. I will. I'm not persuaded by power or money. So if I'm in this journey, is to make a difference, not to side with whatever has been done in the past. So I don't have a problem with that. And to clarify, I'm all for the teachers to get more money, okay, and to be compensated accordingly, like every other county it is. I'm against increasing tax because, again, when is going to be enough? That's just a temporary solution. We need to find like a permanent solution, because yes, teachers are getting, you know, they're getting increased, but we have seniors, we have other people that are really struggling, because I know a lot of people are struggling because they cannot keep up with their bill. They have to sell their house or foreclosure. So we need to find a solution, not a temporary solution. And I think that's the problem. We're just not analyzing the big picture. And no, I don't have a problem going to Tallahassee, and I don't have a problem to make enemies, because I'm not here to please anybody. I'm here to work for the community and find solutions and get the job done. Enough of the talking. That we had that for too long.
I'll ask the same question that I asked as my follow-up. And so just a general stance as an English teacher, this one matters to me. How do you feel about book banning in our district?
Okay, that's very good question. Okay. So there's an age appropriate for everything. As a mom, I don't appreciate like the content of a lot of the books if my kids are going to elementary school or even like middle school. So again, it has to be an age appropriate for everything. Because like in reality, kids discover the sexuality until they're like the age of 18. And a lot of kids as a grown up until they're 25. So we cannot really indoctrinate these kids. So we need to help them because mentally they're not mature enough. So it has to be a line that we cannot cross. Now we have those, we have the books in high school. You know what? The kids they older now, they can understand, but not in elementary or middle school. I don't agree with that. There was a book that I don't remember the name. And I understand what was the point behind. It was about mental health, but you don't have to be so graphic. It is to bring mental health awareness, but you have to be careful because being a mental health, I have seen it all, and it will confuse a lot of the kids. And I mean, you can make the same point, not be so graphic. I don't appreciate that as a mother, so I'm pretty sure and especially being women of faith, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of parents that are on the same boat that I am.
I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Do we have more
Live
time? I
stream?
do have one more question.
Oh,
We do.
sorry, did you already have it?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead, Laura. We have 2 minutes.
You talked about the concerns of the teachers. You very straight over the whole behavior thing because I've been substituting and I see the behaviors in schools. How do you plan on supporting the teachers in their behaviors and disciplining the behaviors?
You mean for the students that are acting up in class? Okay, well, first of all, we need to analyze what's going on with the student. A lot of students, they're acting up or misbehaving. They have not been diagnosed. So we need to identify what's the problem. Because, being in mental health, that's 90% of the problems. Kids acting out because there's something going on at home that we're not aware. So instead of like labeling the kids, we need to identify what's going on. And that will help the teachers as well.
Thank you.